Few hundred demonstrators took to the streets of Washington, D.C., rallying against what they describe as President Donald Trump's authoritarian tendencies during a protest dubbed the No Kings demonstration. The protest unfolded just hours before a rare military parade marking Trump's 79th birthday. Chanting slogans and carrying placards that denounced the president's policies, the crowd voiced concerns over what they view as the militarization of civic life.
But we came down to participate in the massive protests, just one of many around the country against this fascist regime. It's scary. I'm not willing to sit idly by, and I just need to be a part of this to fight it. I think it's atrocious. My grandfather, my uncle, my dad, my two brothers were all in the military, and my dad would be turning over in his grave if he saw what was going on today. To be using our military to expel hardworking immigrants from our country, to jail them, to bring, it's just awful.
Because it's very important to stand out here today because there's so many people that are afraid. And I am exercising my rights as an American that you do not need to be afraid. I am here still intimidated by, the remarks that were said by the president earlier this week, but that does not stop me because protesting is patriotic and I love my country so much that I am also willing to stand up for my family, my community who also live in fear.
And I'm tired of the current administration. I think they're a bunch of fascists, they're a bunch of thieves, thugs, criminals, and I'm tired of corruption. So anything I can do to get that message across. I think that's ridiculous. Obviously we're doing it because it's his birthday. If it wasn't his birthday, we wouldn't be doing it. And whatever else they say about this being the anniversary of the Army, it just wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for his birthday. It's simply to give him attention and rub his ego a little bit, that's all.
Take this conversation to a Democrat and understand the motive behind the protest against the Trump administration. Angela Fobbs joins me now from Mainz in Germany. Good to have you this weekend again. Help us, Angela, understand what the aim of these protests are and what they hope to achieve. We had that No Kings protest from yesterday. Can you help us understand what it's about and what the protesters hoped to achieve?
Well, actually, I wouldn't say everyone, but millions of Americans went out yesterday to protest. There were over 2,100 protests all around the world, in the United States and in Europe and in other places around the world, with Americans protesting because Donald Trump is trying to rule the United States like a king, like a dictator, and he wants to turn us into a dictatorship, but we're not going to let him do that. And it was very heartening to see how many people came out yesterday. I protested also, and there were hundreds, thousands of people in every city that came out. We want him to stop the deportations. We want him to stop dismantling our government. We want him to respect our Constitution and our laws. And hopefully as more people come out and more people acknowledge that there's a problem with the Trump presidency, there can be changes made that our representatives will hopefully take action and make.
How effective, we've witnessed protests over the years, how effective are these types of protests? And what effect do they have? I'm not surprised that you protesters, you protested yesterday, you're a Democrat. We expected that. But how effective are these types of protests?
Well, I think that these types of protests can be very effective. The fact that we had protests in every state in the United States and in places where you wouldn't expect a protest, in Idaho, in Nebraska, in all of these sort of Republican-led states, and there were thousands of people that came out. It says that people are tired of what's happening. And there's a rule that if you can get, it's a very small percentage, 3.5% of people to protest or to stand up against something. it can cause governments to collapse, to crumble, and change can actually be made. So we're almost there. Donald Trump's poll numbers are sinking lower every day, mainly because of his deportations and how he's treating people that are good, responsible people that are living in the United States. And there was a video a few days ago of ICE agents chasing workers through the fields as they were picking fruits and vegetables. And this is not what Donald Trump said. He said he was going to get rid of all the criminals, but what he's done is he's tried to get rid of people that are responsible, that are hardworking, and that are not breaking any laws. And most of us have had it up to here already with this.
Now, some concerns raised by the protesters are the militarization of civic life. You did say that when you were explaining as well. Is this because of the deployment of the National Guard to LA? You mentioned the ICE as well. And also in reference to what he made mention of, just yesterday or a few hours ago about the day being, yesterday, his birthday, and also the 250th of the Army. He talked about, protesters not coming out, even being aware that there were going to be protests, nationwide. What is your response to that?
Well, Donald Trump wanted to have a military dictator-style parade, and as you may have seen, it turned out to be a little bit of a flop, primarily because Americans aren't used to such spectacles, and I'm not even sure we know how to put something on like that, because dictator parades where you have the military going by, they're heavily staged and they make people go to them. And Donald Trump didn't have anyone. It was a low turnout, a very, very low turnout, because most people were otherwise involved. I think that we're almost at a turning point and that things have to change soon. And if they don't change now, they'll change in the midterms. No matter what Donald Trump does, there are still Americans that work in our judicial branch and our legislatures around the country that still respect the rule of law, even if none of his collaborators respect it. And we've got to stop attacking people, militarizing cities, harming immigrants, harming people that are tourists that are visiting our country, harming the citizenry by eliminating vital programs that people need. I mean, for the money that he spent on his parade, how many children could have had a free school lunch, or how many people could have had medical care?
So, but then, I mean, this is a celebration of the military. I mean, you cannot take out the fact that we have militaries, for each country. So is it the issue you have with this is the celebration of the military, or the taxpayers' monies that were used for, these celebrations? What's the major issue here? Because it seems like you say Trump is militarizing, each state and all of that, but this is just a celebration, according to him, of the military, 250 years.
Yes, yes. Happy birthday to our Army. For 250 years, we've had a great military. My grandfather fought in World War II against fascism. My husband is a veteran. I used to work for the military. I love our military, but there are other ways to express appreciation to our military than having a military parade. Donald Trump has cut funding for veterans programs. He's fired more veterans, people that served in our military, than any president in history. So if he wants to appreciate the military, stop firing them, stop taking away their services, and also treat their families well. And in the United States, I think of all of us, there's hardly no one that doesn't have a veteran in their family. So don't abuse us. And even people who are immigrants can join the military. It's one way as a path to citizenship. You can join the military. There's thousands of people who've done this. So respect the American people, and then you also respect the Army.
Interesting the way you put it, Angela Fobbs. Happy birthday to the well, the U.S. military. Thank you so much for the time, Angela Fobbs. You're watching Arise America. There's plenty more to come. Don't go away.